What's up, everyone that's here live and on the replay as well, because StreamYard gave me a helpful little tip to make sure that I say something to those folks too. So hello everyone that's watching in the future. Don't tell me what happens. I want it to be a surprise. We are on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. A helpful little tip too. So once someone's here, please let me know if you can see and hear me okay, because those are important things. And in the meantime, while no one is commenting, I'm going to go ahead and piss off some people. Keith says, hey Chris. Hello Keith. Stavros says, all good. Kathy says, I can hear and see you. Max says, okay. What's up, Max? Somebody on Facebook says, can hear and see. Christopher says, all good. Great name there. We'll get started in a minute or two. I need to adjust my camera a little bit, but that's going to have to wait. You know, it's an interesting, I don't know if it's a stat really. Jessica says sound is good, thank you. Is that in all the groups that I do and at everyone in, the only one where anybody gets upset is the Superstar SEO group. So, you know, take that to mean what you will. Paul says can see and hear you. Thank you, Paul. But to me, I think that's a comment on the SEO industry, and I'll just leave that at that. We will get started in just a second or two once everybody gets on, because people are not punctual sometimes, and that's unfortunate. We'll start with doing a giveaway. I think I forgot to hype that. We'll give away some legit merch because it helps to get engagement. And then we will just kind of take any questions. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and drop those now, and I'll answer them. Lots of people saying hello. Good turnout on LinkedIn today, which is unusual. That's, for whatever reason, the turnout there tends to not be so great. I'm also broadcasting, and I don't know how this works, but it's a new feature on StreamYard, which is the software that I use to do these. Where it's like right there on their page, it's like a webinar or something. So I'm interested in how that works. Apparently somebody is actually watching there. So I'm wondering how that works. So anywho, let me go ahead and bring up that. I hope everyone is doing fabulous. I know I certainly am. Who are we looking for clients? Are you asking, I'm not sure what you're asking. Are you asking who are you looking for, or who is everybody looking for? How to convert from freelancing to agency from home. So I talk about that in that video that I mentioned in the post that you're watching this on, but it's not so much a conversion, because if you think about it, there's not that much difference, but it's a mindset shift. So you need to start, instead of thinking a freelancer does one task and then they're done with it and then they move on to the next one. With an agency, you're building a long-term, monthly, yearly, even longer than that relationship with your clients to help them with their strategic plans for the long term. So instead of thinking about doing a single task or a couple of tasks or even multiple tasks, think strategically about how to help the client's business over the span of that business's life, rather than how you can complete a single task for them. That's kind of the main difference between a freelancer and an agency. So I hope that's clear. If not, let me know. Design Discounters, there's your free plug, says, Chris, I've got a slew of agency tools. What do I do to generate an income in the next few days? In the next few days, I don't like thinking that way, but in the next few days, the fastest thing you can do is list a freelance service on Legit and ask somebody to buy it from you. But if you want a longer term making money strategy, then we can work on that. But unless you're desperate, like online is not the way. Well, if you're just, let me put it this way. The only time you should try to make money that quickly is if you're desperate. And if you're desperate, making money online is not the fastest way to get money in a few days. So I hope that answers that. So actually we do have a way to, oh, I see what you mean. We used to have a job board and no one ever used it. So if you do have something specific like that you need, the best thing to do would either be to post in the Facebook group or to message the on-site support, and they will find someone for you that's perfect for what you need. So if you are looking for, I don't know what you mean by BS task specifically, but I do get what you're talking about. Just message into support or post in the Facebook group and you'll have more than enough help. So we are going to relaunch the job board in a different way, but when we had it, nobody used it. Like we have hundreds of thousands of users and we might have 5 job posts at a time. So I'm always looking for a client. Well, I'm happy to try and help. Weight Loss Diet says, what is the URL for Stream Power? I'm sorry, I don't understand that question. Facebook user says, Rose, why thank you. Whoever that was. I'm more of a hydrangeas guy, but you know. All right, so let's go ahead and starting on the half hour is going to mess me up the entire stream. But Abu says yes. What's up, Abu? Oh, so I use StreamYard is the software that I use to do my live streams. I love it. I've been using it since 2019, and it just gets better and better. They add a lot of features. They have the few times I've needed support, they've been really good. That's not even an affiliate link. They're just really, really good. It's a really good tool. So if you do any kind of live streaming, and now they've added in a webinar feature too. So it's honestly one of the most underrated tools in the industry. Abu says, I'm ready to do it now. Let's do it. All right, let's go ahead and do our giveaway. And this starting in a half hour is going to mess me up the entire stream. So, bear with me. But let's go ahead and do this window to the wall. All right, so this is the Legit merch store. And in just a second, I'm going to ask you to type in a word, and then we let the software pick a winner, and whoever wins will get to pick the Legit merchandise of your choice. And recently we've added quite a bit more stuff. We got a backpack, we got some golf balls, hooded blanket is really popular, some t-shirts, sticker, a notebook, a clock, a hat, a mouse pad. I need to get one of those myself, a tumbler, a wine glass, and you don't need me to read what's on the screen to you, but we've got some really cool stuff that I think you'll like. So in a minute we will pick a winner. To be honest, they don't have a great affiliate program, so just go through their site. Their affiliate program is one of those things where, like, if I refer the person and they sign up, then I get like a month free or something. It's really not worth digging up the affiliate link. Like, that's the only thing that, and I get why, but that's the only thing I would say. And by the way, I hope you're doing well, Alex. Another South Carolina person. Lifeless ordinary says hello. Alex says gotcha. Somebody waved. Somebody says the goat here. All right, so let's go ahead and choose a broadcast. And let's go, and I think we did the same one last time, but let's do it anyway. Let's do agency. So what you're gonna do, oh, and by the way, if you are in a group on Facebook and you want to participate, you're going to need to authorize the software. So go to streamyard.com/Facebook and authorize the software. I'll go ahead and put that on the screen. And then just start typing agency and we will pick We'll go for about 5 minutes, and then we will pick a winner who will get some free legit merchandise of their choice. Somebody on Facebook says, in the present world, there's a lot of competition in the marketplace to get an SEO job. So what should I do to hunt down the client from out of the marketplace, or what is the way? Well, first of all, I think you need to change your mindset. There may be a lot of competition, but there's also a lot of business to be had. So you need to understand that you deserve that business, and that there's somebody out there that absolutely needs what you do. And I'm sorry, I don't know who you are because your name isn't there, but that understands what Facebook user does, and that you are so valuable to them that you're doing them a disservice by not doing proper outreach and creating enough content and being visible enough to get them what you need. So stop worrying about competition and start worrying about being awesome. That's step number one. From there, then you need to have a strategy on how to get clients. And there's a lot of different ways you can go about that. And a lot of that's going to depend upon your strengths, your weaknesses, your time, and what kind of clients you want to go after. So we can dig deeper into that as we go on. But before you do that, and this is kind of what the video I made in the group was about, but you're gonna have to kind of shift your way of thinking, because you're starting from a position of weakness by saying there's a lot of competition. There's not a lot of competition if you're awesome. If you're awesome, and I think that you are, then you don't have competition because they aren't good enough to compete with you. So make that switch in your mind, and that's how you're going to start to really have success. Until you do, you won't have massive success, in my opinion. Lots of people saying agency. And remember, we have some fresh, legit merch on the line here. So make sure you authorize StreamYard and that you enter your chance to win. So again, if you're showing up as Facebook user like this person is, that's difficult. You need to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook, or else you won't be eligible. The software won't pick up your entry. Once we get done with this, in about 2.5 more minutes, I'm going to recap the video I made recently, and in the meantime, I'd like it if you keep throwing in some questions, because I don't really have a huge agenda for what we're going to do today, so I more wanted to just make sure you do it. No, I can't see you. Are you John Cena? But no, you still haven't authorized it, or it hasn't picked it up because I can't see you, whoever that is. I'm gonna see if I can figure out who that is. Anthony. Oh, okay. No, I still can't see you, Anthony, unfortunately. All right, we got about 2 minutes left, probably a little less. This is the part where I complain about the Windows 11 clock not showing me the seconds, so I can't tell you precisely. God, what a dumb feature to remove. It's not even a feature, it's like... Anyway. I'll stop being a boomer and complaining about that. No offense to any actual boomers out there. It's just a figure of speech. It's probably not a very nice one. All right, we got about less than a minute left, and time. Let's go ahead and pick a winner. And our winner is Vicky Massel. So what you're gonna do, Vicky, and I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but just go through and pick out whatever you would like. And then when you can stop saying agency now, guys. And then once you find what you like, you just come over here to legit and click the chat bubble and send a message and tell them that you won, what you want, and your mailing address. And if it's something that requires a size, like a t-shirt, then you need to tell them your size too. So congratulations, Vicky. Let me stop sharing my screen momentarily. And so I can share that with the group. And then we will get into it. All right, and there's your, hopefully you got those instructions, right? Just pick out what you want and then message our support team and they'll take care of you. Facebook user says, I have published a gig in legit marketplace for long. We don't even have gigs, so that's not possible. But didn't get a single response. That means that no one wanted what you listed, and you need to either improve and offer something more valuable, improve the appearance of what you have, and get more people to it. Otherwise, you're not going to get any sales. So, sorry to hear that, but that's the truth, and sometimes the truth can be uncomfortable. So, all right. Before we get into the presentation, we will give it about 2 or 3 minutes to take any more questions and get the people saying agency to stop, hopefully, and go from there. So drop any questions you have that is not how to get orders on legit, and I'll be happy to take them while I'm getting my presentation together. And basically, I'm going to cover the same presentation that's in the group, but I'm just going to I'm not going to go into it quite as in depth. I'm going to just hit the, I guess the talking points, whatever, and then I'll just take any questions that you have. So we got, Vicky says thanks, Keith says congrats, Facebook user says congrats, Minari says congrats, quite a few people saying congrats. Man, Shantae says, you're surprised you're not at SDCC. For those that don't know, that's San Diego Comic-Con getting Funko Stash. I really, really want to go to that some year, and I may just do that next year. I may start planning that ahead of time because I really don't like to travel, but man, that would be so much fun. And not just for the Funkos, but the whole experience. It's kind of a nerd bucket list thing, so I think that I should probably do that. Facebook user says, love your talking style, boss. Well, thank you. Sometimes people tell me that I talk too fast, but that's just how I talk. So I apologize for the people that think that, but thank you, yes. My account got blocked since 3 months ago. I go support, but no one replied. Please help me. You probably shouldn't have done whatever it was you did to get blocked. Shantae says you should go. It's an amazing nerd experience. I think it would be. And I really need to start living a little bit more. And that's one thing I really want to do some year. So I'm probably going to start planning that well in advance because I think that's something I would enjoy. And I don't care that I'm going to be 45 in 10 days. And I'm not too old for that. I don't care what anyone says. All right. We're going to go about Facebook sucks at recovery. Good luck. Sorry, I don't know what you mean, but thank you. I tell you what, Facebook user, go ahead and email help@legit.com and tell them what your username was and tell them, and listen to me and follow my instructions, because if you don't, they're not going to help you. Tell them what you did wrong, because you know what you did that got yourself banned. Tell them what you did wrong, admit it, apologize, and then if you do both of those things, I will make sure that they reinstate your account. If you don't, or if you did something like fraud and like ripped us off, we won't. But if you don't follow those instructions, you won't. But if you follow those instructions, we'll give you another chance. If you ask again in this live stream about this, I'm not going to help you then either. So email help@legit.com, admit what you did wrong and apologize for it, and then we can reinstate your account, assuming you didn't commit fraud. Otherwise, leave me alone about it. So I think that's more than fair. All right, let me bring up the presentation. See, now I have the John Cena theme song stuck in my head. Oh, that's not what I wanted. What is it doing? All right, there we go. Stop asking about it and do what I said. I'm telling you, this time they will reply if you use your ears and follow the instructions that I'm giving you, okay? Please don't ask about it again. Alrighty, this is the presentation that I put in the Agency Owners Mastermind group 2 days ago, I think. We'll come back to that in a second. Shantae says, any G4 analytics you're liking these days? Yeah, there's two. There is, for kind of a basic one that's actually a pretty good deal, you can check out Clicky, CLICKY.com. It's a good cheap analytics program. I think they even have a free level for like one site. So check that one out. If you need something more robust, check out Matomo. And I don't know what their URL is, but the software is called Matomo. Those are, in my opinion, the two best analytics programs. I never liked Google Analytics, Universal Analytics, and G4 is even worse. So this hasn't been a shift for me because I thought it sucked from the beginning, and I hate that it's the industry standard to begin with. So hopefully that helps answer that. Anyone has a remote SEO job available? Probably, but I don't know how to help you with that. I wish If Legit would my everything. I think that's well intended, even though I don't quite get what you're saying, so thank you. All right, so the anatomy of an agency. So this is going to be a bit more conceptual, and it's not going to be do cold emailing with this script this time of day to these niches. It's not that kind of thing. This is going to be more mindset and foundational stuff that a lot of people skip over, but they need to actually be doing if they want to have success. Because it sounds woo-woo and, Gary Vee, blah, blah shit, but it's important that you understand some of these principles and these concepts if you actually want to be successful in this business. And I want you to be successful because I can't think of the word, to be helpful, but I also want you to succeed because I'm hoping that you'll use my stuff and buy stuff from me. So, yeah, that's kind of why we're going to talk about this. What is the word that means giving without expecting anything in return? It's really going to irritate me. It's a word I've used all the time, and I can't come up with it. Anyway, moving right along. The anatomy of an agency. I don't know why I called it that. It just sounded like a good title. So that's that. Some of the things that we talked about in it are why an agency, what problem do you want to solve, thinking like an agency and not like a freelancer. Somebody else asked a question about that a few minutes ago. Who you are and what are your values, what kind of person are you, and who do you want to work with. So let's kind of dig into these. And I'm not going to go as in depth as I did in that video because you can just go watch that. But I wanted to kind of recap that and then take any questions about any of these particular bullets that you may or may not have. So, why an agency? There are a million different ways to make money online or even not online. So why do you have an agency? And now, what I mean by that is why are you choosing, and it's going to kind of tie into the next one, but you can do affiliate marketing, you can do e-commerce, you can do freelancing, you can do dropshipping, you can do all these other things. Why do you want to have an agency? Is it because you want the name on the door and the sign and to have like a business with employees and a water cooler? If so, that's great. But is it because you like working with businesses? Like, figure out why this is the path you're choosing. It might just be that you heard that this was a good way to make money. It is. In my opinion, that's not going to be a good enough reason to keep you motivated in the long term. But that's another reason that you might do it. But Figure out your why and why you want to have an agency. Maybe you like, I don't know, maybe you like the process of going out and signing clients rather than like building links and optimizing H tags and stuff like that. But figure out why. Shantae says, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, by the way, but Shantae says, I like working with small businesses. See, that's a good reason. And that's honestly one of the reasons that got me into it too. Although in the beginning, it was, if I'm being perfectly honest, it was for the money. But understanding why you're choosing this path is important. Like when we go to college or like we graduate high school, we often go into a major that we want, is something that we want to do. At least that's what we're told to do. And I think that's kind of the same principle here. You need to understand why you're choosing that particular path before you go down it. So that's kind of what I mean by figuring out why you want to be an agency or own an agency or run an agency in the first place. Next up is, what problem do you solve? If I ask if I ask 100 agency owners what problem they solve, I bet 90 of them are going to tell me I help clients get more leads and sales or something to that effect. But you need to dig a little bit deeper than that, in my opinion, and figure out what specific problem you solve. So, for instance, if there is a restaurant that's struggling to make sales, you might say, I help them make sales. But you need to dig deeper than that. Maybe the reason that they're not making any sales is because they have shitty food. In that case, they need to rethink their menu, hire a better chef, or whatever. And no amount of marketing is going to fix that. Or maybe they're in a bad location, and who they really need to talk to is a real estate agent or whoever it is that helps people find new locations. No amount of marketing can solve that. So what you need to figure out is, what problem do you solve? So if what you know how to do is local SEO, then the problem you solve is finding businesses that don't have enough local search visibility and increasing that visibility for them so that they can be found by their prospective leads and clients. So that may sound like a distinction without a difference, but it's not. You have to really understand what problem you solve, and beyond just, I help them get more leads and sales, because that can mean anything. And marketing might not be the way to get a particular business more leads or sales. So you need to figure out what problem you solve and how you solve it for people before you really get into this, because otherwise you're just going to be another cookie cutter lead gen agency that might stumble into some success, but doesn't really have a core value. And if you want to look at a good example of this, check out the shift that my partner in Legit, Jim, made recently in his agency for what his goal is. So I'll leave it at that, because that's not my story to tell. But that's, I think, a good example of what I mean by figuring out what problem you solve beyond just, I build websites or I do SEO or I help get leads. So any questions on that? Shantae says his is, I help businesses increase their visibility locally while taking themselves out of the equation to 100%. Yeah, I think you're on the right track there. So let's move on. And thank you for your participation, by the way. It's always helpful to have at least one or two people that are interactive. I never was when I was watching these things. So this one, somebody else asked about this earlier, but I want to touch on it again. Thinking like an agency versus thinking like a freelancer. Now, before I go in any deeper on this, I want to point out that I do both of these, have had success with both of these, and I enjoy both of these. So neither is right and neither is wrong. I don't want that to be the message that you get from this, but a lot of people that call themselves agencies are really freelancers and still think like a freelancer. And what I mean by that is they think about the task at hand and how to complete that task and then move on to the next one. And they don't think in terms of partnerships, in terms of long-term strategy, and an overall vision that they have for the people that they work with. So if I'm a freelancer and I end up working with your business, I might do some SEO or write some content or design a website, and then we're done. Nothing wrong with that. That's a great way to make a living, and it's a good way to have a lot of business, but that's a freelancer. Even if you have hundreds of clients, you're still doing freelance work. If you sign a contract and build a long-term partnership, and it's not really a partnership, but a long-term deal with someone where you help them with their vision for their business as it relates to what you offer, then that's you being an agency. It doesn't matter if you work from home or if you have a business like an office location. That stuff it really doesn't mean anything. The difference between an agency and a freelancer is a freelancer does a task and it doesn't do a long-term deal with someone, even if they work with someone over the course of a long time. It's a matter of completing a task versus having a long-term vision and strategy. So any questions on that? I know that one is a bit hairy for people, and plus I need to get some water. But any questions on that or anything else so far, or can we continue? Give it another minute or two. Shantae says, an agency also sees the clients going to them as an expert. Yeah, I mean, a freelancer can still be an expert, but yeah, you're offering more than just the doing. You're offering strategy and planning and execution. So I think that's a great way to put it. Yeah. Anise, what's up, Anise? Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. What you will suggest? I have good experience with SEO, ranked sites, so I have to focus only on SEO to sell that service, or I have to add up the social media management and marketing, WordPress management, because I have expertise in these too. Do you suggest be specific or one or multiple? So that's a good question. There's pluses and minuses of both. The plus is that the more things you offer, the more people you can sign, and the more opportunity you get. But the minus is that every other thing that you offer adds another layer of complexity, another thing that you have to monitor, another thing you have to learn and stay on top of. So I guess it depends on your skill set, your resources, and what you want to do. So if you want to appeal to as many, how do I put it? My personal preference is specializing in one thing, but if you have the resources and the desire to be a full agency or offer multiple things, then you can. So I guess it depends on if you can continue to offer all these other things at the same level of quality and still keep the time to run your business, keep your pipeline full, keep your marketing going, keep making more sales, and so on. So there's no right or wrong answer. It just depends on the resources you have, what you want to do, and what you are good at. My opinion is it's better to get a core offer, which would probably be SEO in your case, and get that stable, and then you can start bolting on other things that complements it once you have good systems for them in place. So hopefully that answered that. Neither way is right and neither way is wrong. The pluses are the option to serve more people with more services, but the downside is adding complexity to your offering. So those are the kind of variables that you need to weigh, I guess is what I'm saying. Moving right along. Who are you and what are your values? So this is probably the most abstract, but who are you? Are you someone who wants to spend their day doing the implementation, or are you someone that wants to spend their day selling and bringing in new business, or you want to be doing the marketing for your business? Knowing those things about yourself is important, because if we start an agency, we want to do this theoretically for the rest of our life, or at least the rest of our working life. And if you're going against what you're good at, you're never going to stick to it long term. So we need to think long term, and to do that, we have to understand who we are and what our values are. So if you are someone that isn't good at sales and networking and talking to people, you need to either develop those skills to the point that you can use them, that you can be good enough at them that your business can survive, or you need to partner with someone that does have that skill so you can focus on the implementation of doing the SEO, the web design, the social media management, whatever it is. But that's kind of, you need to understand who you are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. And then as far as your values, you need to understand, you need to think of it a few things. Like, are you comfortable taking on a business in an industry that you don't want to work with? just because they have a good, pay good money. I'm not saying that you should or you shouldn't, but you need to understand if you value the money more so than working with a particular industry. You need to understand who you are as far as things that you want to do. For example, I don't like to take phone calls. I don't like to talk to my clients on the phone. I don't really like being on the phone to anybody. And that's kind of a value of mine, is I want my communication to be almost entirely in written form, because I can refer back to it. I can think through my thoughts. You need to understand, and it's not really a value per se, but I value the time that being on the phone takes away from me. So figure out those things about yourself. I guess I should have labeled this "Get to know yourself and who you are," and build that into your culture, into your agency, into your business. So if you know that you're someone who's never going to be happy being extroverted and talking to clients and making content and signing customers, you need to either get that skill to the point that you can tolerate it and then work on the other part the rest of the time, or you need to partner with someone that can take on the part that you're not good at or don't want to do and kind of work it out. But you have to, before you can make any of those decisions, you need to know who you are and what your values are. Otherwise, this just isn't going to work. So does that make sense? Does anybody have any questions on that or anything else before we continue on? I think there's only one or two more slides, and then we'll just open it up for the rest of the time for Q&A and whatever else. But let me grab some water. Let me know if you have any questions or if we should just move on. And also let me know how you're enjoying this so far and that sort of thing as well. Anise says, thank you so much for good explanation. Yes, I'll try to add up more resources as a team to sell in the future. It's a complex answer where I was confused, but you solve it as per your entrepreneurship experience. Yeah, so again, no right and no wrong answer, but my instinct, and this goes into what the slide that we're on right now, so it works out. But mine is to keep things as simple and fluid as possible. And the more things you add, the more complicated it gets and the more difficult it gets. So that's me. I understand that about myself. So I prefer to offer just one thing. But if you know that you like to do these other things and you have the staff, the experience, and the systems in place to do them, then you have the opportunity to serve more people and to make more money because you're offering more things. So that's kind of the overall answer to that. Hopefully you know what you need to do for your agency and your business now. I know you offer a few different things as it is, and I think you'll find success with whatever decision you make. So yeah. All right, next up we have, what kind of person are you? That kind of, I already covered that in the last slide. I don't know why I made those separate. And then who do you want to work with? Now, there's a few layers to this. What niche you want to work with, what industry you want to work with. We're going to cover that in later training, later videos, later content, because that's kind of a whole different subject. But more specifically, who do you want to work with? This is a decision we had to make at Legit not long ago, and who I want to work with is business owners and entrepreneurs, and not just individuals. I was going to say people. Because that's just who I like working with. That's like who I like helping. It's what I like to do more so than I do working with individuals. So that's kind of that. Who do you want to work with? Do you want to work with solopreneurs? Do you want to work with startups? Do you want to work with CEOs, marketing directors, founders? Do you want to work with the kind of people that are going to want you to have monthly meetings with them? Or do you want to work with the kind of people that never want to hear from you? Do you want to work with, I'll just say, specific demographics? I personally don't think you should weigh those factors, but those are my values, not yours. So if there's a demographic of person, and I'm not going to go any more specific or give any more examples like that because I don't want to get canceled. But if there's any specifics like that you do or do not want to work with, think about that. But figure out who you want to work with, because again, we're building something that we want to run for the rest of our life, or at least for the rest of our career. And you're never going to have success, or at least not the kind of success and happiness that you want, if you are working with people that you can't stand. And that includes your internal team too, when you get to a point of hiring people. But figure out the type of person you want to work with and then build your offer. And we're going to talk about offers in a future video as well, but build your offer around that person, that persona, that industry, that niche, whatever it is. Literally write down on a piece of paper, if you had to wake up every day and work with a particular person or type of person, who that would be, and then base your offer and your agency around finding more people like that. Because who wants to get up and work with people that they hate, or even that you don't hate but you just dread? Like, you know, I have people that I like that I can't stand to be around. Like, maybe that are too outgoing, maybe that are too obnoxious, whatever it is. Eliminate that from your life. Eliminate that from your business, because part of owning a business, and whether it's an agency or whatever, is getting to live your life and make your income on your terms. And if you are working with people, whether it's client, whether it's internal, whether it's partner or whatever, that you don't enjoy being around, it defeats the whole purpose. You might as well go get a job, because I guarantee you, if you have a job, you're gonna have people you don't like working with. So figure out who you want to work with. You know, it's I don't know how to elaborate on that any further. So work with people. There's no point in working with people that you don't want to work with. So figure out who that is, and then build your offer around that. If I had to sum up everything that we've talked about, and I do believe this is the last slide today, it would be figuring out what you want to do long term with your agency, and build everything else around that, so that you will enjoy working on it, and you'll get out of bed in the morning going, hell yeah, I can't wait to get back to work on what I'm working on. And that's something I missed for a long time, to be perfectly honest. I was not happy with what I was doing. Even though I was making good money and living on my own terms and still be having a job, I wasn't 100% living my best life, as the kids probably no longer say. So if there's one thing you can take away from everything we've talked about today, is that I want you to figure out what would make you happy with your agency for the rest of your life, or at least the rest of your career, and build everything around that, and eliminate everything that doesn't feed into that. So I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, let me know. But I think that was the last slide. Yeah. So I'll put this back at the beginning, and then we'll just dig into some of the questions. Janice, hello Janice. Janice says, great topic, partnering with someone that's good at doing the things you're not. Yeah, it's kind of the yin and yang of business, right? Like, for example, at Legit, Jim and I have been working together for about 6 years now. And he's good at the technical stuff, he's good at the development, and he understands the other parts of it well enough that he can contribute. But the other parts of it are, you know, the marketing, being the public face, the SEO, the community building. That's all the stuff that I do. And I understand the coding enough that I can listen to it intelligently and offer feedback, but I don't know how to do it. And kind of just, one person is strong where the other one isn't as strong, and then vice versa. And that's how the best partnerships work. So thank you for commenting on that. And thank you for watching today. I'm really happy that we got some good people, not good people, a good amount of turnout from LinkedIn for a change. Anise says, I'm noticing on different posts or jobs, some buyers want to hire only individuals, and some like working only with agencies. What's the psychology behind it? And maybe their pricing or time management? I mean, I can't say for sure why any one person thinks the way that they do. But my opinion on it is that some people feel more comfortable with an agency because they envision, you know, a big office building with tons of staff and resources and that sort of thing behind it to help them. And it's not just one guy sitting in his boxers in his apartment doing whatever it is, SEO, web design, whatever. If I had to guess, that's why the people that want an agency want that. And then if I had to guess why the people that want an individual is they feel like they're going to get more direct one-on-one. They know that when they call them, they're going to get that person on the phone, or that person's going to be answering their email. They're basically someone that wants that direct connection with an individual rather than a big soulless corporation. Again, I don't know. This is just my opinion. But if I had to guess, that's why. And there's probably a pricing element to it too. People probably think that a quote-unquote agency is going to charge more, but you know, that's, again, this is all just hypothetical, but if I had to guess, that's probably why it is the way that it is. Nitin says, I love Legit, and we love you back. Weight Loss Diet says, I know what I'm good at. What I'm not good at is generating leads, hunter style, to avoid the cost of paid ads. Okay, so what you probably need, and this is only based on a sentence, so I could be wrong, but it sounds like what you need is someone that knows how to create content, knows how to network, knows how to generate cold business, and that sort of thing. So it sounds like that you're good at generating the leads, but let me read that again. What I'm not good at is generating leads, hunter style. I don't know what hunter style means, but it sounds like that you need to partner with someone that can go drive the business, and so you can focus on what you are good at. And I assume that that's the fulfillment, whether it's SEO or marketing or sales, whatever, not sales, but video, whatever it is. I don't know what your business is, but you need to go find now. Finding that person with that skill set and a compatible personality isn't as easy as it sounds. You need to just kind of network a little bit and get to know people until you find someone that you like, that you think would be good at that. I got lucky, and I think Jim would agree with that if he were here, that we complement each other well in that way. For example, we have different, even though we think the same on some things, we think different on other things too. Like I tend to be very analytical and want to have the numbers and the justification for stuff like that. He tends to be more instinctual and he has good instincts. So we balance each other in that way too. So I hope that answered you didn't really ask a question, but I hope that response to your comment helped you out some. What's up, Joseph? Joseph says, I love today's video. Very informative. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Joseph. Always a pleasure, my friend. Any more questions? I blocked off an hour for this. We've got about 15 minutes left. If not, we can go ahead and start our weekend. Just checking to see if I got any questions anywhere else. I don't like missing questions. Is anybody in, just kind of off topic, but I've been getting added to all these like ClickBank commission groups lately, and I feel like it's a way that the vendors on ClickBank are doing a thing to like get you to notice their offer. So just a thought. Just want to make sure I don't miss any questions. Oy vey. It's amazing how much time I have to spend on fighting bad, like spammers and frauds and just generally bad people. Alright, no, doesn't look like I missed any. Vicky, today's winner. Don't forget to claim your merch, my friend. Said thank you so much for the good session. Thank you. I feel like this was a good session. I enjoyed it, and I never had to like hunt for words, so that's a good thing. Mubashir says informative session. Thank you. Thank you, Mubashir. Always a pleasure, my friend. Let me do this. Just want to make sure I don't miss anyone. I always feel bad when I do. And the agency, let me go ahead and talk about that for the last couple minutes. And I'll start approving people again once we get done here. This is the why is it not sharing it? Maybe I need to do. Alright, hold on. Share screen, window, that one. Alright, this is the Legit Agency Owners Mastermind group. I'll drop the link to that in the comments. We're going to be, this is going to be a big focus of ours in the future for the next going. Thank you. I missed the first 20 minutes. Vlad, you popped up on my phone with a headline interesting. Oh, well, thank you, Janice. And wherever you're watching this, you can check it out, or you can find it on YouTube at chrismwalker.tv. So it'll be there as well if you want to go back and catch that. But appreciate that, and that's good feedback, so I appreciate you letting me know that too. So thank you very much. Anyhow, this is the Legit Agency Owners group. This is going to be a big focus of mine going forward because, like I said, I like working with businesses, I like working with agencies, and if I'm being perfectly honest, I want you to grow your agency so you'll buy stuff from me that you need for it. If I just want to, call that me being Alex Hormozy or whatever, but all the content and all the value is going to be free, so we can help each other grow. And of course, the reason that I want you to grow is because I care, but I also want you to buy stuff from me in the future. But you can see we've already put in a good bit of free content, and we're going to be doing a lot more. Like I say, this is going to be a focus of mine, and I hope to see you in there. Just check it out. Search Legit Agency Owners Mastermind on Facebook, or you can click the link there as well. So that's that. We've got a few more minutes. Any other questions? Life Less Ordinary says, thanks, Chris. Have a good weekend. Thank you, Life Less Ordinary. You do the same. This has been a blast. This was a last minute decision, and I'm glad I did it because I was worried about getting to an appointment I have at 6, and while we've been talking, that appointment got canceled, and I'm fine with that because I didn't really want to go. So, I think I might just wrap up. I'll give it 1 or 2 more minutes, but it seems like the questions and the people are dying down and people are dropping off, and that's okay. All right, we'll give it till another 1 or 2 minutes, and then we will wrap it up. But thanks again for everyone for showing up. Subscribe on YouTube. I'm told I'm supposed to ask that because it increases subscribe rate. I think that's nonsense, but chrismwalker.tv. You can also find me on Facebook at Chris M. Walker. I think let's go ahead and call it a weekend. Wherever you're watching this, you can watch the rest of it again. If you're watching this on the replay, check that out too. I don't really know. Just say, come join the group if you are watching this on the replay. Have a great weekend, everybody. It's been a blast. I look forward to doing this again, and we'll see you then. And most importantly, figure out what you want out of life and go out and get it, because you owe it to yourself and you owe it to the world. I'll see you next time. Peace.